Let's talk about travel, shall we? We've got
Yeah.
AAA projecting a huge Memorial Day weekend for travel, both here in Michigan and across the country. Nearly 1.3 million Michiganders are expected to travel, most of them by car. AAA's Adrian Woodland is joining us live with what to expect out on the roads. Adrian, thank you so much for being with us. Let's start with the big picture. What stands out most about this Memorial Day travel forecast for drivers?
It's still gonna be a busy holiday season in Michigan. We're expecting about 1.2 million Michiganders to hit the roads for a road trip. So the roads are gonna be very busy out there this weekend. So it's really important if you are planning to get on the road that you make sure your vehicle is ready for the road.
Yeah, it's certainly some good reminders there. Yeah, get it ready if you are traveling long distances. So I'm curious though, how does this year's Michigan road travel predictions compare to years past, and what might be driving any increases we're seeing?
Yeah, so this year's Memorial Day holiday is going to be busier than last year. Um, in terms of total travel in Michigan, we're expecting about 1.3 million Michiganders to travel this Memorial Day. That's up by about 37,000 more travelers this year compared to last year. And, despite economic, uncertainty and global effect challenges, folks still want to get out and travel and they still want to make those memories. So travel is still really important to Americans.
Yeah, we spoke to some of the things that we might be concerned about, but what is driving that increase? Anything in particular, or just more people want to make sure they get to that Memorial Day destination this year?
Again, travel is still really important for Americans, and we've seen steady growth year over year in travel since 2020, and 2025 is no different.
Interesting. For a lot of the people that are going to be on the roads, not just travelers, but also maybe people that are staying home, with so many people being out and about, is that going to be having a big impact on gas prices as well?
So gas prices are actually heading up as we head into the weekend. The state average today is about $3.21 a gallon for regular unleaded. That's still going to be less than what we saw for Memorial Day of last year, when the average in Michigan was about $3.66 a gallon for regular unleaded. So drivers for the weekend should be seeing prices less than what we saw this time last year.
Yeah, okay. It looks like we're looking at some gas price numbers as we're talking to you right now. So around 3.32 a gallon today, according to AAA. In Kent County, it gets to 3.21 and 3.22 in Kalamazoo and Muskegon counties as well. So yeah, right on par with what you were saying. We're kind of at that average is what you were kind of describing there. Let's talk about congestion, because I know that that's going to be something a lot of people are concerned about when traveling through the major metros. What metros, I mean, I think we can kind of pinpoint which ones you're going to talk about, but what are some of the trouble spots you expect drivers to be expecting this time around?
Yeah, in Michigan, you can expect interstates like I-75, I-94, I-96 to be very busy. And some of the worst times for travel will be tomorrow between the hours of 12 noon and 8 p.m. So if you are flexible with your time, if you can get out before 11 a.m., you should be able to miss some of the heavier traffic tomorrow.
Okay, that's some good advice to keep in mind there.
Yeah, absolutely. Does AAA kind of have an idea too of where these people are going? Like, are a lot of people going up north to the lakeshore, or people leaving the Midwest in general?
So, a survey we did earlier this year of Michiganders and their plans for summer travel, we found a lot of folks wanted to go to beach destinations, lake destinations, national and state parks were also really popular, as well as city and metropolitan destinations were popular as well.
Yeah, interesting. Can you talk about the bigger picture national travel? You know, we talked about the Michiganders, 1.3 million Michiganders traveling in total. Like 45 million people across the country are going to be traveling. And so if you're leaving the state, you might expect some congestion in other states as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Across the nation, AAA is forecasting about 45.1 million travelers across the nation, and about 39 million of those are going to be hitting the roadways. So it's definitely going to be busy roadways, busy airports if you are out there flying. Just definitely make sure to plan ahead. And again, be sure for roadways and airports to be busy.
Yeah. Any quick tips to save some money on a road trip, like maybe any fuel efficiency hacks or areas to avoid with high gas prices?
So, one tip if you are doing a road trip, AAA does have some, helpful apps that can help you. Our AAA, free AAA mobile app can help you. It can help you calculate gas for your trip that you'll need for your trip. It can also help you find some of the lower gas prices in your community, around the state, across the country. It's a great tool if you're using a road trip, if you're doing a road trip, because it can help you figure out some of the best places to fill up, especially if you're doing a multi-state trip.
Yeah, some of those families like to get in on the ground level when they're planning that road trip and try to plan that gas station stop every,
Yeah.
couple hundred miles if they're traveling long distances.
Yeah, lots of expenses go into car travel, really any type of travel in general. But for those that are maybe flying somewhere and getting a rental car, those seem to be in pretty high demand as well. For those that are still looking to book a rental car, are there any trends or tips that people should be looking out for?
Yeah, so you can still, get a car. According to Hertz, they say Friday, May 23rd is expected to be the busiest day for rental car pickups. SUVs are in high demand for the long. So if you don't need an SUV, you could possibly save money on a smaller vehicle. And places that are really in high demand for rentals are places like Orlando, Florida, Denver, San Francisco, and Los Angeles are top destinations for rental cars. So if you do, you can definitely still, get deals on it, but you definitely want to try to lock that in as soon as possible.
Yeah, get on that rental car website. And as you said, maybe that smaller SUV or a smaller vehicle like a sedan might serve those families of 3 or 4 a little bit better if they are making that trek and getting a rental car. Let's talk air travel. We've talked about the cars, air travel. It's not going to be a record, but it's still going to surpass pre-pandemic levels. On any insight on what travelers should be expecting at the airport this weekend? Obviously, it's going to be busy.
Yeah, airports are bracing for another bustling holiday weekend. AAA is projecting about 3.6 million Americans are going to be flying this year. That's a nearly 2% increase over last year. Passengers should definitely arrive at least 2 to 3 hours ahead of their departure time and be prepared for long bag drop and TSA lines. And also remember that real ID is in effect.
Yeah, again, if you don't have that real ID card, are they still doing that thing where they pull you into another line and check to see if you are who you say you are?
Yeah, so if you don't have a real ID, it may take you a little bit longer. So again, you want to, factor those in when you plan, to get to the airport ahead of time.
Yeah, let's hope you have that little gold star in the top right corner of your driver's license there.
Yeah.
There's another program that you guys kind of are working on this time around, the Tow to Go program. We actually got a release into our newsroom overnight, actually from you, explaining that this will be a program that's instated during the Memorial Day weekend. Can you kind of explain Tow to Go for us and what that's about?
Yeah, so we AAA will be activating our Tow to Go program here in Michigan, other select states, and it's a free confidential ride for drivers who find themselves too impaired to drive. And our program is designed to remove impaired drivers from the road before disaster strikes. But we encourage everyone that if you know you're going to be drinking or taking other impairing substances this weekend, that you plan ahead for a safe ride home. Because making responsible choices can stop a tragedy from happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, making sure that people are planning ahead of time. For those that inevitably don't, too, that want to be able to use this type of service, who qualifies for it? And is this like an all day, all night type of service, or is there certain hours that it's open to people?
So the service kicks off tomorrow at 6 p.m. and it runs through 6 a.m. Tuesday, May 27th. It'll be available during that entire time. It's free and available to AAA members as well as non-members. So anyone can call the line and get a ride if they need it.
Yeah, okay, well, that's some good things to keep in mind because that was my next question is if we needed to be a AAA member or not to use the service. As we kind of round things out and prepare for our holiday weekend, any other tips that you can provide for our viewers here if they're headed out on the road or maybe headed to the airport here in the next couple of days?
Yeah, if you are headed out on the roadways, a few tips. One, make sure, everyone in your vehicle, they're in their seat belts or, young children are in proper booster seats or car seats. Drivers, make sure that you're alert, you put down distractions, and of course, don't drive impaired.
Yeah, those are very important tips. Adrian Woodland with AAA. We always appreciate your time. Thank you so much for the insight, and have a great Memorial Day holiday weekend.
Thank you. You too.